And we're live. There we go.
Oh, I see us. Yep.
There we are. Hey, John.
Posted on the St.
I
Andrew.
see it.
Or on the.
Tell you what, using the StreamYard website is so much easier than doing all that Facebook crap.
Oh yeah. I've heard a lot of people having trouble with that.
It's not too fun.
Yeah. All right. Any your protections? All right.
There's no business like
There you go.
business, man.
Yeah.
Man, I hate to say this on live chat, but I don't think I'm following you on St. Anger Productions. Or not St. Anger Productions, on my personal page.
Well, dang.
Right? Brandon wanted me to send it to him also.
Cool.
I'm like, I'll watch it later.
Look over there.
All right. Oh, and there's somebody named Stephanie already in the comments. Hi, Stephanie.
Uh-oh, what'd you say? Dang.
Early.
Yeah. I think I know who that is.
Well, she shares the same last name as one of y'all.
Yeah. Wow. Coincidence.
Yeah, who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
All right, so welcome everybody. I'm Ozzy, St. Anger Productions, and this is St. Anger Productions presents Beggars Whiskey. We got a whole band tonight.
Hi guys.
Hey!
So this is my first time to do a whole band situation. So I think this will be fun.
Oh yeah.
Sit down, buckle up, and hang on tight, because this might just be a fun ride, everybody.
All right.
So I fully support local entertainment. However, local is not limited to just Tonkawa, Tulsa, or wherever. Local can literally be anywhere you're located. Local is your scene, your location. Now, with that being said, tell me a little bit about what local means to you. What is your location to describe the local entertainment scene?
Anybody want to take this one? I can get it if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
So Tulsa, where we're from, is really kind of a hub for local music. It's like the Austin of Oklahoma, or like the LA of the Midwest, it seems like. There's so many bands. When I say the local scene runs deep, you have no idea. We have played with dozens, and we know people in dozens of bands that are just phenomenal.
A lot of talent.
And what's so special about this area, I feel like a lot of other scenes, bands will kind of undercut each other. There's that competition. Whereas Tulsa, it seems like bands kind of build each other up, if that makes sense. There's not a whole lot of drama, not a whole lot of backstabbing. Everybody kind of knows everybody else, gets along with everybody else, and I feel like that makes a huge difference. You see new bands come on the scene all the time, and their first show, you've got local musicians telling them, you're doing great, keep it up, giving them advice, sharing shows. It really feels more like a community than just an average music scene.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree as well. I'm Mike, by the way. We'll go around here a second in introductions, but yeah, local to me, as you've said, local is where you're at, but it's where you're at currently. It doesn't have to be, I'm from Tulsa, so I'm only local to Tulsa. One thing I found is when we go up to Lawton, or even when we've been out in Fort Smith, and we meet the bands there. It's like you said, it's a community, and the community is really, really good, especially here in Tulsa. Like Jeff said, they're very supportive. There was like, hey, yeah, you guys are doing great. Keep going. Do this. Hey, we need to get a show together. We need to work together. We need to do this together. And I think that's what's very interesting, coming from some of the different places musically in the United States. I've been in California, I've been in Texas, Florida, a lot of different places. But the scene here, it just seems to be a lot more supportive and tight than in other places. But yeah, I mean, Jeff kind of hit it on the head when he said it's like a big community. And I think that's really one of the things that, in my mind, sets Tulsa apart, and the Tulsa area. And could be, maybe it's a lot of Oklahoma. I haven't been up to the Norman area and places like that, but I know even in Oklahoma City and Lawton and things like that, with bands like Aquafire, they're all just very, very supportive. And we try to be the same way. To be honest with you. The new bands we've seen when we played out in Sparks and places like that, just supporting them, say, hey, you guys are really good. We really like this. Let's see what we can do to collaborate together, get shows together. And it's just about making each other better musicians, but having fun and really going out and entertaining people. So.
I like that. That's a really, really good answer. So you've been in LA and other places. If you could reach out right here, right now to everybody else that you've worked with that are local or, the small time, undiscovered, whatever, if you can say one thing to them right now that needs to be said, what would that be?
For me, it would be don't stop.
There you go.
Always keep going. If this is something you want to do, you just have to keep doing it. You're gonna. Freitas, if you guys know Freitas, he has a song where he says, "I'm grinding every day." He's grinding, and that's really what you have to do if you want to be a musician. There are
Absolutely,
hobbyists, and then there are musicians. And I saw this thing that said the difference between them is that when something gets hard, when music gets hard, a hobbyist stops. An artist says, I need to dig into it when it gets hard. And I think that's very, very true, because if music were hard, easy, every single person would do it. But it does. There are hard times, and a lot of times you're doing this for little to no pay. So it really has to be something you want to do, and you just have to keep going.
Absolutely.
Anybody else?
Yeah, something if it's in your heart, then you don't retire from it. You just pursue it. You chase it where it leads you. You find people that it works with, and you dig in with them, and if something goes awry, you keep moving down the road, and you chase the music, you chase the and you will always find people that are on the same wavelength as yourself. So it's a journey,
Absolutely.
Like Mike said, if you're a hobbyist, you may indulge in it for a while and get away from it, but then if you're a hobbyist, you come back to it. If you pursue it professionally, there is no retirement from it. You just go. and you can enjoy the journey. And right now, these guys, I'm having a lot of fun with these guys, and mix, and it's working. So I'll take it where it leads.
If I could kind of on something he was saying, finding the right group of people, something that I've learned, music really has no age. I played with young people, I played with old people. It's amazing the way music can connect you to other people. So don't ever feel bashful or hesitant about playing with anybody. Every new musician you play with enhances your own ability.
That's true.
Yes.
Pick something up from it. You certainly do.
Yeah.
So one thing I thought of when you mentioned retirement, you don't just retire. No, old musicians never retire. They just get a new bar stool and an upgraded guitar, acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
They get a bar stool with a back on it, something that
Yes.
Yeah.
Before you know
Ozzy,
it,
do
you'll
you
be
mind
in a
if we
nursing
just
home
kind of
playing
go
piano.
around the horn real quick and just kind of
That as you do that, let's skip ahead to the next question. Not your reach, but how did you get into music and what instrument do you play? So, as you introduce yourself, say, "Hey, I'm Ozzy. I play drums," and beating around on stuff as a child got me into music. Oh, that's a whole different story. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So just talking about
Okay, I'm John Kinane, and I got into music years ago, just playing guitar. I was more of a hobbyist, as they would say, and I grew up in the Tulsa music scene, watching everybody, but never really got on stage. And then I got my first taste on stage with the band called Poster Child. My brother passed away, and they did a tribute for him. And I got to play the Scorpions Zoo song, and getting to be on stage, that was lit my fire a little bit. Then I got into a group of a couple friends, and we were called DLSV during COVID. And we played a couple shows, and unfortunately, our drummer passed away. And then I met up with most of these guys in another band that we're in. Do another offshoot thing called British Invasion. And then Beggars, Whisky started to form, and I started playing bass with them. And that's where I am today. And I'm loving playing the bass, loving playing with these guys, just really enjoying the music, playing original music, and having that musical outlet to be able to be creative. Just really enjoying the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Just really enjoy playing music as an actual musician and not a hobbyist. It does get tough.
Oh yeah.
We just keep on going.
There you go, man. Well said.
Fist bump on that. Yes.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, so I'm John MacArthur. I'm the drummer for Beggars Whisky. Been with them for about a month and a half. Good set of guys here. Everybody's fun to play with, and good attitudes, good energy. I started playing drums in high school. I had a friend who played drums, and I'm like, man, that looks really cool and really fun. And I just kind of started teaching myself, playing on Folgers cans and things in the house, driving my parents nuts, beating on everything. But made my way, and when I was in the military, I got to be in the marching band in the military and play in the Mardi Gras parade. After that, in community college, played in the band there, and since living in Tulsa here, been in a few different bands. Really good experiences. A lot of people know other people from other bands. Have a really good community here in Tulsa. So looking forward to playing with these guys. it's a lot of fun, and you know, we don't always to practice as much as we want. I'm just going to play that into the earlier, like, don't get frustrated and give up, like Mike said, with your band. Just try to have fun with it and enjoy it for you. Don't get caught up in comparing yourself to others. If you just focus on that, you get frustrated. It's going to take the best fun. Just enjoy it and play the best that you can for you and for the sound of your band. So I'm, like I said, I'm really happy to be a part of this. I'm brand new, just and looking forward to it. And that's it.
You sound like you're going to be a great fit in the band.
Yes. Yep.
All right. My name is Paul Brown. I play the guitar in the band and do some backup vocals. I've been playing around the guitar for years. My mom and dad bought my older brother a guitar when we were kids, and he picked around on it for 6 months and then just let it alone. And it just was collecting dust over in the corner. So I picked it up one day and started picking on it, and I have been playing on it ever since. But my background was mainly like, I first got interested in like Dan Fogelberg, James Taylor, that kind of stuff, Crosby, Stills and Nash, that, you know, early 70s stuff, and enjoyed playing that kind of music, singing that kind of music. And I've been in coffee shops back in the 70s, really enjoyed doing that kind of stuff, and then off and on through the years, played with different folks, and I met these great guys through, like what John was saying, the band that we're playing with, and that we're kind of an offshoot of this other group that we're working with. And you know, Mike's writing a lot of good music, and the thing I enjoy most about this group is that when we get together and we kind of freelance, and Mike will say, okay, and we start coming up with progressions and melody lines, and Mike has got so many lyrics in this book. He said, hey, I've got lines for this, or I've got, that'll work for this. And the whole creative side of it right now is, I'm really enjoying it. And so that's really kind of like my music, if you will. So that's where I'm at.
Good job. Sounded good. So my name's Jeff McCurley. I'm kind of a child of music. From the time I was born, I don't remember there ever being a time when music wasn't a huge part of my life. As a kid, I always had headphones, or I was always next to a radio. I knew all the bands on the radio from a very young age. I started playing piano when I was probably like 10 or 12 and didn't really like it much. So I switched to guitar and kind of never looked back. From the time I was probably 14 or 15, I was constantly in a band or multiple bands. I think I've played just about every venue, every attic, every garage in Tulsa at this point. But every instrument, yeah, that's another thing. I started on guitar, and then kind of out of necessity, we needed a drummer at one point, so I switched to drums and did that for a few years. Then we needed a bass player. I switched to bass for a while. And now I've got a pretty solid list of instruments I can play, but guitar and drums, mostly guitar, are definitely my they have my heart. I always go back to that. And I played with cover bands, I played with original groups in the past, but whenever you get like a real good group of guys together, you feel it, like you know it, and you can hear it in the music, and you can hear it in the songs we write. Yeah, that's me. I'm born and raised in Tulsa, child of music, and yeah, spent my whole life doing this. Kind of the pinnacle of where it's led me. Yeah.
So let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
You've done guitar and drums.
Yeah.
At what point did you start doing mixing audio?
So honestly, Mike here is definitely the mixer of all of us. I mean, it's something any musician, if you play long enough, it's something that you it's you pick up on. It's almost a requirement. So I mean, I've done recordings with numerous people, but it's something I feel like the audio, the production is something that changes and grows so fast. If you don't stick with it, like you can kind of get left behind.
Oh yes. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's very personal for me recently as I got back into it. Like I was way behind. I watch on YouTube a guy named Nick Dela Cruz. He goes to these big shows, like he's done front of house engineer interviews with engineers such as Pantera,
Nice.
just all kinds of big bands, like at arena shows or arenas, not stadiums. He'll do the front of house. He'll do Monitor World. He'll do all these, and it always comes down to they were a musician. And I heard it said once that it's like sound production is where the failed musicians go.
Oh, that's one way to put it. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's almost how it seems sometimes with those that they make a career out of it.
Yeah. Now I will say if you get a good one, it's phenomenal. We've worked with Adam Woods out at Liquid Studio quite a bit, and the amount of knowledge that we've picked up just from watching somebody who really, really is proficient in that, it's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for Rocklahoma's Big O Bus real quick. Were you guys are still going, right? At least one more member?
Yep.
We got Mike.
It's me. I'm Mike. Last name is Daniels. Mike Daniels. I'm the vocalist in this band, the lead vocalist. I also occasionally play keys. I started playing instruments. Technically, I got my first guitar when I was about 7 or 8. Acoustic guitar. Started playing that. My grandmother would teach me chords on the piano and things like that. So my dad played acoustic guitars, and so I've kind of been around music pretty much my whole life. When I was in high school, in middle school, I started out in band playing saxophone. Got into high school, started playing other instruments. Went to college for music for a bit. It was my first time really away from home, so I didn't really do the studying and things like that. So I ended up joining the military, ran around the world, spent a lot of time in about 5 years in Japan, went all over the world, got married, and unfortunately, when I got married, my ex-wife now she wasn't a supporter of music. She really didn't see the necessity in it. Yeah, so I spent about 20 years not playing because they say happy wife, happy life. Not always true. But, so I spent about 20 years away from music. Ended up getting divorced. Came back to here. I was born in Muskogee, so I came back to be a little closer to my dad, closer to my mom who lives up in Texas, and my cousin. He's my cousin, but we lived together when we were kids, so it's more like we were brothers. Basically, every week he'd be like, "Hey, you need to come out." He was in a cover band, so you need to come out. You need to come out. You need to come out. And I was just kind of no. And finally, I went out, and he was like, "Man, we need someone that can play bass in case our bassist is sick, or we need someone that can play keys in case our keys player is sick." So he was trying to kind of get me back into music and things like that. And then, unfortunately, we were in a really, really bad car accident, and he ended up passing away.
Oh man!
Yeah, it was a really, really bad car accident. I had a pretty bad traumatic brain injury. I had to go through a lot of stuff to get through that. Luckily, I have an extremely supportive girlfriend who
that helps
out through all that. Yeah, she's supportive in the music scene as well. She's always like, "Hey, you need to go play some music. You need to go do some writing. You need to go my cousin passed away, I kind of realized, life's not guaranteed, right? Tomorrow, you don't know what you're going to have tomorrow. So I basically kind of jumped in with both feet and said, it's time, I want to start a band. I want to kind of entertain people and get my messages out, get out the things that I feel like I have to say. And that's one thing I'll say with music. If you're a musician, it's not something you just normally, you're like, I'm going to go do this. I literally feel like I have to get this stuff out. A lot of it's relaxing for me, but if I don't get these songs and things like that, if I can't get my words out, things that I'm feeling, it just builds up. And that's why, as I mentioned, I write a lot. I write a lot of lyrics. I write a lot of music. And then kind of produce a demo on my home system here, and then we kind of go through it and tweak what needs to be tweaked, add in parts and pieces, and change anything that we feel we need to. But that's kind of where Beggars Whiskey started. Was I worked with Jeff and said, Jeff, I want to start this. Let's figure out who we need to bring in, and that's kind of really where we got started. And that's since we've started, we've gotten the chance to do some really fun things and meet some amazingly supportive people from different bands. And I am so thankful for that. But I have to say, Rockavet talks about music as medicine, and I 100% agree with that message.
Yes. Yes.
Being a vet and especially going through that traumatic, that traumatic car accident, music is probably something that's really allowed me to, I would say I might not be here today if not for music. So,
absolutely.
I was in a pretty dark place at points in time. So, and it's been thanks to these guys, the music community, that I've been able to kind of do what I needed to do to get the message out. So that's kind of a little bit about me. Any other questions? Let's we can move on now.
Yeah. Well, before we do, I want to say, person to person, I'm glad that you're still here.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
100%.
Yeah, I'm one of them too. That's lucky to be here. November 5th, 2019 was the day that my life literally flipped upside down. I didn't have all the brain injury stuff, but I'm thankful for that. But it's been enough of a challenge the last 5 years. So thank God for music and, like you said, a great support system.
Right.
So, you guys have seen the list of questions. So I'm going to backtrack now. How far is your reach, and how far are you willing to take your music?
You want me to take this one?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, go ahead.
So as far as our live, we've played Arkansas. We've done Fort Smith. We've played as far as like El Reno, Lawton, Oklahoma City. As far as our music, because of social media, we're able to spread out quite a bit more than we would have otherwise. Oddly enough, we have quite a few fans in Brazil. We even had a fan in Brazil get our logo tattooed on his arm, which is amazing to me. Yeah, if you're watching, yeah,
the biggest fan.
But
you guys have somebody in Brazil with your logo tattooed on their arm.
Yeah, right now.
Because of social media.
Yeah.
Yep.
He heard our songs. He contacted us. We talked a little bit, and then the next thing I know, he's sending us a picture of the tattoo done. That's phenomenal. I don't know the people and the areas you can reach.
Mm-hmm.
And just in the language that music speaks,
and that's
like it's just crazy,
That's another thing.
Yes.
Language. One-on-one, could not speak with this guy. Different language, but music connects. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
As far as like how far we're willing to take it, it's
yet. I froze up a little bit.
Anybody
Yeah.
else?
There you are. Hey, I found you. I froze up for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it went blank for everybody else, but
No, I don't know. Yeah.
nobody said anything.
All right. Yeah,
So yes. What?
oh, did you hear very much?
I heard you talk about a little bit more, like the language barrier.
Yeah, just how.
That's where it's cut off.
Okay. So as far as like where we're going with the music or how far we want to take it,
Mhm.
we've all got jobs. We're not doing like coast to coast tours, but the main thing for us is trying to get it to the people who are going to enjoy it, who it's going to make a difference for. That's a big thing for us. Writing music that connects to and getting it to those people is the main thing, really.
You know,
Right on.
if doors keep opening up and opportunities are you know, we'll pursue that stuff, you know, and just and see where it leads. It's like we talked earlier, like music is medicinal, really. And we do that. We're not just playing music. I'm not thinking about all the issues, what's going on in the world, and enjoying what I'm doing with it. And all the other stuff goes away.
Mhm.
It's very therapeutic and good medicine. So why indulge in that? So as long as we do music that we all enjoy, hang with it. At least I am, you know.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
So, from what it sounds like from what you talked about earlier, you would be one that's very pro social media to help get your name out there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think it's a different communication tool. It enables us to share our music with a broader audience than we otherwise would have been able to.
Yeah,
So,
but from what I've seen on, like, too many times I've seen it, social media can bring a band down too.
that's absolutely true. Deciphering the good thing and the bad are a skill for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, well, one thing we've always kind of stayed clear of any drama, any kind of like political stance, religious stance, anything that could divide is not.
Yes.
We're not about that.
Yeah, we've stayed clear of other pitfalls so far for sure.
Good deal.
Yeah, focusing on the music. Like people.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, kind of got to watch your personal profiles too, a little bit. But here's the thing: when it comes to the personal versus the band, I may not like an individual within the band, but that doesn't mean I have to hate the band.
Oh, that's 100% sure. Yeah, I've known bands. There's a member I don't get along with. They make great music, and they're good at what they do. I mean, that's kind of a big part of music. You've always heard like don't. Yeah, you don't know how somebody's going to be. But if you have that musical connection to them, you can look past a lot of that, a lot of negativity.
Yeah. And worst case scenario, if you got beef with one of the band members of a band that you happen to be playing with that night, some night, do like they do when they talk about in the outside world. And you go clock in at your 9 to 5, leave your drum at the door.
There
You
you
can
go.
pick it up on your way out.
That's it.
So
That's it.
from load in to load out, leave it out there in that trailer. You don't need it inside.
Yeah, music has no place for drama.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys kind of skipped ahead to this next question for describing your musical background. So I'll ask you this one then. Describe the band's musical genre.
That's tough. I'll leave this one up to Mike. All over. Well, our
So I'll kind of start this. So we definitely have an idea. The closest thing I could say, kind of a southerny rock.
Okay.
But like thing, we have some offshoots, things that are almost punk. We have a song that is kind of punkish, and the reason that is a lot of different bands, and we like to make sure that everyone gets the ability to say what they want to say. So what I mean by that is that we have some lyrics that Jeff is wants to get in there, and that goes really well with came up with. One that John came up with, and we fit those together. As long as the song is good, that's what we're really looking for.
We don't try to pigeonhole ourselves in any one genre.
We don't, but we're probably most of our songs are probably around that southern rock type deal. It's a little harder than southern rock. Some of it's a little softer. We have some ballads. We have some great bangers. It's a very wide field because we want to make sure we're entertaining. Not every person likes the same. We want to get a little bit of variety as well. We don't typically country. I'll tell you that. However, we're not opposed to a cover of something like that party. It is, it's country, but it's very, very hard rock. But typically we don't do. We do have a very great style. Anybody else say that?
I think you nailed it.
This is the road stuff. Like the one ballad we do, it's kind of almost a 70s kind of feel. When the morning comes, but it's got the lead on it is just lifting the song up. It's just, so yeah, anywhere from middle of the road, rockish. It's
yeah.
I would love to listen to you guys do like an original song that you do, a pop southern rock fusion.
Pop southern rock.
Not pop, punk.
Punk southern rock. That's a pretty good.
Yes.
Actually, yeah. All right.
Like, could you imagine Blink 182 meets some red dirt band?
Hey, challenge accepted.
I'd buy a VIP ticket if I booked that show. Wait.
All right. You'll be first on the list.
Awesome. So what are you guys doing after the interview?
Obviously, we're working on a southern rock.
I spent too much time as a jazz drummer growing up, so the whole fusion thing, it's something fun. You got like jazz rock, jazz, like Latin jazz. And you got all these different forms of jazz. It's not just jazz anymore. It became so much more.
Oh, some of those jazz players, phenomenal too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so many of those lines and crossover and blends. It's hard to pigeonhole why this music is one genre or the other. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, as I discussed before I hit that live button, there's going to be some of these questions that have the opportunity for both individuals and for the band. And this is one of them. How do you see yourself, basically, the future of your music? So whether it be individual, well, preferably both individual and as a band.
Okay.
Let's start.
Okay.
JC.
On the individual, usually, you know, I've picked up the bass, and I see the bass playing and the bass riff getting more intricate and a little harder, a little faster, you know, and also I like the Southern rock. I also would say I kind of lean pushing us towards Southern rock. I really enjoy being the heavier tones and the heavier music. So I can see our music also having a little bit of heavier sound to it as a band as we move forward. So that's my
Okay.
take.
You go next.
Yeah, I mean, going forward, keep playing as I can. It's like they said before, it's kind of a great hobby. I've been in several bands. Sometimes you get people who are difficult, they just ruin the fun and take all out of it. It's not as big a situation. This group of guys, I've only been, half. Everybody seems to get along, critical of each other, ideas, not a lot of drama. There's who sticks out, and like they're always late and they're always the problem, and so it makes it a lot more fun. And as long as I'm having fun doing it, to me, the people you play with, then the amount of money you get, the fame you get, or whatever. It's about what it's doing for you and it makes you happy. If other people are enjoying it, then that is all the better. So, yeah.
If I may add something to that, what you just said, people can tell, when you go to these concerts and you're just having fun, that fun's going to project itself into your performance. And we all know that the more performance you put on, the more energy you're going to receive back from the crowd. So if you're having fun with it, you're going to start making money.
Yeah.
At least that's my personal take on it. You're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, you're enjoying what you're doing. Let it show on stage.
Yeah.
Or people are relating and getting invited to do more. Play with a great band, so it's more fun. It snowballs. You're just taking the right approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always been basically a rhythm guitar player for years, and being around these guys, I'm kind of stretching myself to try to pick up some stuff, some riffs, some rundowns and things out in that regard. Plus, just like you touched on, developing a little more to get up on the stage, more animated and what we're doing. But as long as my fingers are working, playing, body doesn't break down, I'm just continually try to get what I'm doing because first and foremost, it's like I was talking on earlier. It's just it's medicine. So I'm not going to unless I'm either pushed out, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Musical chairs.
Yeah, there we go. For me, on a personal level, I can't envision anything life could throw at me stop playing music. It's such a part of me. That if you were to amputate my arm, bob in my head. Like, it's who I am. So, and then I've been playing for 20 some odd years all the time. I mean, week to week, I notice a difference. And to kind of touch on what he was saying, I feel like me personally, the band as a whole, we enjoy it so much that people pick up on that. Almost every show we got has been because of connections we've made, us play that have, or even heard us. We've gotten a couple shows. I see Jamie Missler's watching. She does a martial rock, which promotes local bands phenomenally, and people. I mean, we've gotten messages from people that's like, "Hey, I've heard your song. I've heard that." Like you said, just kind of it snowballs. You love what you're doing, pick up on that for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So oh, sorry. What?
No, you go ahead.
Oh,
It's your floor.
So that was on a personal level. On the band level, for the future, I mean, all I can see is us continuing the music. Every song seems to be better than the previous one, and keep bringing in new style stuff and seeing where.
Yeah, the punk fusion stuff. I like
Yeah,
that.
the punk fusion thing. That sounds good.
New styles. You guys there yet?
Earlier.
There
Yeah,
we
so-
go.
I think we froze up there.
Oh, I didn't know if that was you or me.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the ether. So for me, individually, I got a quick question. Is everyone hearing that echo too?
They were talking about in chat hearing an echo. I'm kind of wondering. From what I'm hearing, it's a lot of skip. Like, you get a lot of words out, and then it'll skip out on a couple.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll keep going forward. Individually, for me, just keep writing and trying to entertain as people as I can. And like I said before, nobody knows how long that's going to be. Just make the most of it. They're going to have to try this keyboard run out of my hand again. I imagine myself in a nursing home someday, grabbing a microphone and
You be the one playing the piano for everybody.
Yep. I just enjoy entertaining people. I also see myself. I've been approached by several people asking me if I can do some ghost writing with them, things like that. They've listened to some of the new music I've been doing, things I've been putting together, listening to my lyrics, and so that's something I'm always open to. I'm like, yeah. Just froze again.
There we go.
No, it's just for a moment.
Are we there? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Oh, it froze again. Sorry, guys. The gremlins are coming out. Bear with us just a little bit. While we're waiting on them to return, guys, he mentioned a little bit ago, Jamie with Marshall Rock. They talked about being heard all the way in Brazil, even. If you want your music heard, no matter where you are, if you want your music heard, get a hold of Marshall Rock and find out how to send your stuff over. Oh, and they just disappeared. See if I can get them back on. And looks like they are back on.
All right.
So yeah. I was just giving a little shout out to Marshall Rock and telling these people that no matter where they are located, whether it's St. Augustine, Florida, or Walla Walla, Washington, or the very top of Maine, or wherever, if you want your music heard, get a hold of Marshall Rock.
Oh yeah.
And submit your information.
Yeah. Yeah, they so much for bands all over the place. And
Great.
It's great. Sometimes I'll just turn it on.
Don't forget to hit the button.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about your current projects and y'all's role, within the project, whether it's with the band or other projects, whatever. What projects do you guys have going on?
Well, we're working up.
I could.
Yeah, take it.
So, me, John, and Paul play a side project, a cover band. Kind of how we met. We all up in this thing called British Invasion Pulse, where we played classic rock tunes, and we played together for a while, years or so. And I've been playing with British Invasion for years as a group. For after a couple years, well, all these songs, we felt like we all had original, which is kind of how we branched out. And Beggars Whisky kind of took the lead as far as all the band projects. Me and Mike also play a cover band called, I think we're going by Nova. So we've got a couple different projects going on, but Beggars is the number one right now.
Okay.
Anything?
Well, you summed it up there.
Yeah.
So, cover band point of view, when you're covering a song, do you make it as your own, or do you try and keep it as close to the original as you can get?
Well, we're not a tribute. We just do our own little. Yeah. We make it kind of our own, but close to the original. But we're not out there trying to be, like I said, a tribute band. So we put our own twist on some of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a great example is Eminence. When I sing that, I don't sing it like the original. My own style and how I sing it. We also try to make sure that it's true enough to the original. People can go, oh, we know what that song is. Because you don't want to make halfway through and then they're like, oh, that's
yeah.
Again, you want to entertain. So when people hear a song, if it's one they really like, they want to hear a song that they like. They want to be able to recognize it. But I also realize that I'm not the original guy that's singing that. I'm not doing a tribute band.
I think we look. We're here. We're back.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
What he was saying. Yeah, I mean there are certain things here. You can't mess up that drum part here. Everyone knows. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about in the air tonight.
There's certain things that people kind of expect to hear, but we definitely any song with any band put our own spin on it.
Yeah.
So
for the good, go ahead.
I'm gonna say that the cover stuff is fun, and it's we enjoy doing it. But we get together with these guys and coming up with original stuff. That is kind of stimulating in a different way, a different level. I really enjoy doing that. It's fun, like I said, to do covers. It's fun to play music. But when you get together with try to create something, that's a whole different ball of wax. I really enjoy that process of coming up with a new song and trying to pound it out. You know, it's really, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, there's advantages to playing music where you know you play your song, and you know people either like it or don't. I've been in cover bands before. You get one group of people that say, wow, you sound just like you guys are amazing, and then the other half of the people saying, you know, it's like just listening to jukebox. You just sound like the original. You don't have any of your own, and it becomes difficult to please both sides. So, you know, it's kind of cool to just play what you want, music, and insert some of yourself into what you're doing. People are like, wow, that's, you know, you end up getting a bigger group of people that really tend to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with that. But then one thing you have to look out for when you do that, you know, when you make it your own, you're going to still have that one group of people that's going to be like, oh man, no, you're ruining them. You know, you gotta be like them. You know, the crowd's going to flip. You can't please everybody. Then they froze up again. Hold on, guys. We'll get them back. And Jamie, yes, I agree. Original songs are the best. And we're going to try that one. And add them.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
The little internet maniacs messing with things.
Yeah, those gremlins.
Yep.
Just don't water them.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. Even after midnight, I'm always up so late.
Yeah.
After midnight cup.
Oh, yeah.
We do that.
So from the perspective of the band, what is your mission for the band? And then also from there, do you write from, you know, when you write your songs, do you write them from the lyrical aspect? Like, you know, this, you know, the songs all have the meaning and then you put the music to it? Or do you write from the musical aspect and then put the lyrics with it later? Or do you just incorporate both?
I think it's a little bit of both. Sometimes I'll just be sitting around with a chord progression, and then we'll try to come up with a melody line for it that kind of sounds good, and then Mike will say, "Hey, I've got lyrics that'll fit to this," or Mike comes in with a song he's already put together, and we try to just follow it as close as he's kind of constructed. The same with Jeff. I'll just kind of throw thoughts and stuff into the pot, and so it's really a little bit of both.
Yeah, I don't think we've a formula for how we write songs. It's always like that level of, what do we call it? Like a level of magic. When something fits together the way that you didn't expect. Having multiple people that do write and such a creative force all in one hand. Everything we write goes through the process. I mean, it's like molding a piece of clay. I start out with something extremely basic, like a lyrical line or a guitar riff or a bass line. Yeah. Work with it. It becomes something that we could individually make on our own. The whole is always greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Yes. So which one of you lead the band? Sounds like it's Mike.
Probably, yeah. He's the head creative force.
So Mike, let me elaborate a little bit more on this question. or a follow-up question, or however you want to phrase it, just for you, it sounds like you give your guys a whole lot of freedom to just express themselves in a way that matches each song.
I do, and I think that's really important. Even when I bring a song to them, I'll have kind of the demo done. I'll be like, "Hey, this melody, this is how it runs," but I also want them to expect this, to put their own spin on it. I think if you put your own spin on it, you put yourself into that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just I feel like that's going to make it better. It's going to make you more invested in it, and ultimately, I think people are going to be able to tell he's really comfortable doing that, trying to force feed something. Right? This is exactly what I want you. I don't want to come in. This is the song. This is exactly how it goes. I expect people to spend on it, and I also expect that if they think something can be better, whether it's a lyrical line, or a word, or phrasing that they're working on, we bring it up. I'm definitely vocal. Tell you, I'm definitely vocal in rehearsals and things like that, and that's really what I expect as well, is to say, hey, I don't think this part's working, so let's try something different here, or maybe this part works better. And I think that's what's really good about working with you guys, is that we're all really open. You know, I kind of say we don't have any, you hear about prima donna and things like that. It's really not a prima donna. I'm probably the closest thing to. And
We just call them Don.
yep, they just call Donna. But it's really more of a collaboration. I think that's really important. And that also eliminates drama. I think sometimes drama can be more about hurt feelings. Like, I really thought this part would be good, but no one wanted to listen to me. I'm not getting heard, and I want to make sure that say what they need to say, gets their opinions out there. Because when I write stuff, it may be I'm in this little bubble, and in order to make something really good, sometimes you got to expand that bubble, give input, and I think that's extremely important. So that's really what I do, and when it comes to the band, I just want everybody to collaborate.
Yeah.
Mike does a really good job of kind of directing kind of what we come up with. And he's done a tremendous writing and some really good stuff. Actually, and sometimes the song becomes much completed, and we love what it sounds like. We just try to do our best to cover it. Other songs, just like Mike was saying, our own twist, we add this to it or subtract that. But that's the whole thing, the whole creative thing. That's what's fun about it. Getting to put that new music and coming up with something that sound. It's our song. It's fun stuff.
Sounds like it.
On drums, I'm the newest for like a month and a half in. First thing Mike said to me is, "Get your own on drums." So he writes the whole song and brings it to us. It's got all the drums already in there, so I can get a good feel for what it should be. But rather than him saying, "This is my song," hey, and being prideful and saying, "I want it this way," he's like, "Make it generally this feel. Make it your own as well." That's kind of a thing, because we play exactly what he gives us, and it's our song. So
That's true.
it's that being the first thing, a lot of maturity to me. That, this isn't. A lot of people would be like, "This is my song. This is the way it needs to be. Play it like this. You're playing it wrong."
So let me ask you this one.
some faith and confidence in us that, like, you know, you guys are all musicians. Insert some of yourself in there. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, we did miss a little bit of that. Froze up a little bit, but I think it'd be okay because I do want to ask you this one real quick. Being that you are the newest member, when you came in, the songs that were already done with a previous drummer, number one, did you feel that he gave you absolute freedom to change the drum parts to best fit your drumming needs? Or two, did you feel that whether from him or on a personal level that you needed to keep the drums about how they were for the song as it was written?
So he did give me that freedom. He said, you know, the drums are obviously already in the make it your own. But as far as personal experience of mine, I try to dissect the song if I've had time to break it down and what can I put interesting in here, kind of a feel of what I do. Play the song with so it adds to the song. It doesn't disrupt the song. So the job of a drummer is to figure it out, be the spotlight, it's to serve the song and make cohesive music. That's what I always try to do. And if I get an opportunity to put something cool that's me in there, I'll put it in there, but not to the point where it's distracting.
Right on. So, drummer to drummer, I want to ask you this one. Have you watched the YouTube that's Drumeo, their YouTube account? They do this deal where they have these drummers, like, say, Mike Portnoy was one. You'll have to check that one out. They gave him a song, let them listen to it. There's times that they do it with the drum track, and there's times that they make them do it without the drum track. The ones with the drum track, they're basically saying, like Mike Portnoy, here is Tool playing Numa. We need you to play like Danny Carey would. But then there's the other ones that's really interesting, and it's amazing listening to the outcome. But they'll take these drummers and, like, okay, here's this song, we want you to play it the way that you would play it.
Yep.
And so like watching Chad Smith playing oh crap, who was it? You have to look it up. Chad Smith had one of those songs that didn't have the drum track, and it's like within like the chorus, he was coming in and he was just pounding that thing, played the whole song, not even knowing what the song is.
I saw Chad Smith doing 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, it's
that one.
Yeah,
good job.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the way.
Yeah,
that's how I like it. I'm not Chad Smith. I'm not you. Like, to come in and fill your shoes. I don't know what size you wear, but so I'm not going to try it. But to come in and fill your shoes, it's like I would respect what you do, but I'm playing how what best fits my needs to get the song played.
Yeah. So as a drummer, you go different. You start out and you just play loud. It's about playing loud as fast as you can and as crazy as you can, and it's all about me. And then you progress through different levels. But what's helped me more than anything is different styles of music, in either a jazz band or a marching band or a college band or what they're playing. I can do it. So eventually you develop skills for listening to music, and you like another sense where you feel generally to work good with that music. And that's exactly what's happening in what you're talking about, where they play the music and they're like, play what you think would go well to play it, and then it ends up being kind of close to what it actually is in the recording, because it's just a maturity. And that's not to brag on myself. It's something that naturally develops. More time and age you experience you get at doing it.
Really well said.
Yeah.
And a lot of practice and a lot of listening.
Yep.
So, without going into the details regarding hot topics such as politics, religion, or any of those other debatable hot topics, describe the morals of the band, and maybe a little bit as yourself too, mainly the band.
Ooh, morals of the band. Is there whiskey involved?
Maybe. I mean, are you begging? Are you begging for the whiskey?
Hey,
That's actually kind of how we got our name. You know, we all happen to like whiskey. There's quite a few Irishmen in the band. And the question was always, hey, what whiskey do we have? You know, whatever we had, you know, it was the Beggars whiskey.
Yeah.
But I'd say really morals. It's pretty straightforward, you know, just don't be a douchebag. You know?
I like it.
Yeah, be respectful.
I like
Just be
that,
respectful. You know?
Yeah.
It's like
You know what's right. Just do it, right?
Don't abuse any substance that's going to affect how you play and how you perform, and therefore affect the reputation of the band, because what you're in is bigger than yourself.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Immaturity rises to the top, and it abraises everybody and puts it aside. So, you know, like, and these guys are all well-centered guys.
I think we also treat everybody like we want to be treated. Respect. I think respectful and give support. We're very supportive and So that's where I think we're very respectful of everybody and everybody else's feelings. Don't put people down. You know,
And we won't complain about that.
Yeah. Complain about the whiskey.
So, so to touch base like on the don't be a douchebag and don't like overuse substances, yada yada. You know, you mentioned the bands. How about the fans? Like, you know, you're being a douchebag, you're affecting the ones around you, or you're tripping on too many shrooms, or you've done too much other drugs or alcohol. You start putting other people's lives at risk. The safety aspect, but then that just interrupts you guys on stage. We see it all the time on YouTube. This band stopped for injury down there. Which, especially being in rock and metal, everybody crowds up front. You're moshing. You're just having a good time. But it's like that, hip hop and stuff like that too, where like everybody likes to crowd up front. Then you got something that's happening, 5, 6, 7 rows in. It makes it hard for him to get in there and to get to that person.
Oh yeah. Well,
whether it's for first aid or for security reasons, but yeah, go ahead.
Just don't be dumb. So you know what you can handle, what you can't handle. Go into a show, you're going to be around. You're probably going to be like bumping into people. Like, know what you're getting into. Know yourself so that you don't act dumb and get slammed or something. That's kind of
absolutely.
Luckily, we haven't had a whole lot of problem with that, but I know a lot of bands do.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys haven't had the problems. And for all the fans out there that's not metalheads, you guys need to learn the code of conduct, the one rule, being in metal. And when you see a fellow brethren or sister that's fallen,
pick them up.
Pick them up. Pick them up. It doesn't matter if you're out there square dancing and somebody falls, pick them up. You're out there, shaking the booty to some good hip hop.
Yeah.
Somebody trips or falls, pick them up.
There you go. We're all in this together.
Exactly. Show respect.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's a big thing.
So here's one for both the band and as individuals. And it's a two-part question. So we all have people who influence us. Who are your influences as both an individual and a musician? And then who are the influences as the band?
All
Start this way.
right. Let me go.
Mhm.
Okay. Musically, growing up, I listened for huge AC/DC fans. So I grew up in Angus Young solos. To say that doesn't influence you. So my base in music is definitely 60s, 70s rock. That's really where I stand, where I sit, where I came from. But there's new bands coming up all the time. I'll find, and not even major bands. Like I'll just be searching on YouTube and find some unknown band in some city somewhere that has an amazing song. I'll send them a message. Like, hey, that's really awesome. You guys keep up the good work. Or something. Yeah, that's my main influences. Classic rock, I think that's definitely where I come from. Where my playing is, that's definitely where as far as the band, oh god, we all have such styles that an overall influence. Pinpoint. I hear everything from Led Zeppelin to AC Skinner in our songs, so we're kind of influential. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all going to come down to the individuals now then.
No, that's all right.
I want to add something to the band.
Yeah, go ahead.
There is a lot of stuff. I know when I write, one of my big influences is actually the Dead South.
Okay.
They're kind of a bluegrass type band. They like to do a lot of changes, like stops, and that's one thing. If you listen to our music, we do a lot of where we just stop the music and then start it back. And a lot of that came from listening to the Dead South. I really like how they do that, how they incorporate it, then how they bring things back in and weave their instruments throughout the music. But you also hear some breaking in there. They're a big influence for me. You'll hear some deeper growling stuff when I sing. A melodic part. A lot of that comes from Breaking Benjamin being one of my favorite bands. But yeah, the overall influence for the band, I can't say because again, it's collective of people. We've all brought our own influences in. So sure, you'll hear some DC type riffs coming from Jeff. You'll hear some Eaglesy type things coming from Paul. You'll hear some. I don't know what to put in, but he's got his own bass riff, some bass things. So really, it's a very influential the sound for Beggars. I'll go ahead and do my individual. I'm already talking. My early classical music. I love classical music. Still love classical music. But then I got into in my formative years. A lot of my stuff you'll hear. Iron Maiden, Metallica stuff going on. Some of the bass lines I write, specifically some of the Iron Maiden type. Again, I also like the Dead South. They were my favorite. I love their voices, harmonize. I love the cello in, the banjo, and then of course, like I said, is one of my all-time bands. So I'll turn it over to.
You know, my influence, like when I was really young, my mom was sitting around, never much into music, but I would hear my mom play like Henry on the stereo. You know, you had that kind of stuff always going in the background, and I was never really much. I was always sports, and I can remember laying in bed, and it was in the summer, radio on, and the window was open, and I was looking up at the wind, and Booty Blues came on the radio, and that just sparked my whole interest in the music. Going forward, I had the radio on all the time, and you know, the Association, the Rascals, Beatles, like Marshall Tucker, and of course the Eagles, all that stuff from the late '60s, early '70s was I would listen to it all the time. And as I've gotten older, I really enjoyed like bluegrass music. The musicianship involved in bluegrass music is just admirable. All these people, mandolins and banjos, and the skill level in that music is just, it's like I said, admirable to watch. And I kicked myself for not indulging that stuff earlier in my life and trying to pursue that. But right now, I'm basically a rhythm player. I'm trying to better and branch out and doing riffs and leads. And these guys, they're good for that. But what I bring is more Eagles kind of a background, CCR, picking, and that kind of a thing. So I do a little bit of ambient stuff in the background. So it's been a really good blend. And so that's kind of where my
Okay.
My background started on number 6, and I had 3 older brothers. Started with it was all classic rock, 70s. Went through all that, and then he moved away to college. My next brother brought home Van Halen album #1, and that was it. I went down the Van Halen road, and then it was Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and I went into the heavy metal, and then also of the blues and Leonard Skinner, ZZ Top. I really grew up playing guitar. I've always been guitar riffs, but I also always loved Led Zeppelin and Cream. I think my playing really is more John Paul Jones and Jack Bruce. I'm really into that kind of bass sound. You know, I don't think Mike knows that.
He does now.
He does now. Yeah.
From that thumping bass, and I'm not to their level, that's for sure. But that's where I would love to be.
So we can see it.
Okay. I guess that saves the drummer for last, like always, huh?
Save the best for last.
So,
Yes.
Yeah. I guess like Paul said, I gravitate towards musicianship, not necessarily what everybody likes or what's popular. You know, you hear suggestions. You've got to hear this band. You got to hear this band that are making. I hear them, and I'm like, you know, I guess they're popular, but they're not. It doesn't do it for me. But what does it for me is seeing someone who's just really skilled at their. It's just like, wow, that's, you know, not just what popular, but what's like true musicianship. And some of my people I looked up to, Phil Collins, Stuart Copeland. There's a drummer by a British band called Marillion, which maybe you've heard of. Marillion over there, been around a long time. But singers, bass players. Somebody mentioned Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah.
Iron Maiden, I was hard rock, but listening to Iron Maiden, I'm like,
Oh, they're incredible.
their drummer, the musician, the singer, just like, wow, that's what really I can relate to more so than what everybody likes, and there are more examples of that with modern music that I can't really get a good grip on, but. Of course, you find a lot of is listening to music from back then, so that kind of speaks for itself. Yeah. So
now that kind of begs the question that so yeah, you got me thinking. When you talk about the enjoying listening to the bass line, I'm guessing that's going to actually be a drummer thing that, like you hear the really good bass line and you just kind of really fall in love with it. I don't know, I'm sure bassists are like that. Kind of wonder how many of the other musicians are like that, where you hear a really, really good bass riff and you just instantly fall in love with it.
Oh, yeah.
Your electric guitar came out, like who? And it's like, just listen.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not into that style of music. I'm into the ability and the craft of the instrument, and like that person can sing. So
there you go. Yeah. Any music, there's talent. You can recognize for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
To one bass player that was taken way too soon, that I'll always look up to as a musician, Cliff Burton.
I knew you were going to say Cliff Burton. You're going to say Cliff Burton.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that guy was phenomenal. And listening to the solo for Anesthesia.
Oh yeah.
I swore, I swore up and down that was an electric guitar.
Yeah, he plays it like an electric guitar a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the same way with him. When I was in college in speech class, my best friend and I actually we did a tutorial on how to play Ryan from Metallica and the bass part for it, and that it's an all instrumental song. The bass line in it is so good, and it's just something that shows you how versatile the bass can be. And he did such a phenomenal job with playing, not just playing single notes, but the way he, brought the styles of music from like Baroque and stuff into their song. It just shows you how really he really did kind of know what he was doing. It's taken way too soon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was lucky enough to see him in San Diego.
Oh, that's
right
awesome.
before they went overseas and passed away. With that tour with Ozzy. And he blew Ozzy away. I mean, after a puppet tour.
Oh,
when I saw him in San Diego, I was blown away.
Oh yeah, I love watching old videos of him. He gets so into it. What he's playing is technically complicated. It's impressive.
Very impressive. With Cliff, you could definitely tell just by listening to those old Metallica albums, he had a really heavy classical influence.
Oh yeah.
Can't sit there and say that, I don't like classical and enjoy Cliff Burton.
Yeah. Kind of one and the same a lot.
Oh yeah. So here's, I know I have it in 3 different questions. I should really break it down to a little bit more individual, but to kind of save on time, I'll group it all together. You guys still there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're
Staying
just sitting really still. Yes.
We're being good listeners.
We're stewards. Yep.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these different aspects, like what do you look for? Managers, producers, promoters, the recording studios, and even venues. What do you look for in those different areas?
You want to take this?
I'll start this, and they can add in. Managers, promoters, things like that. We don't have. We're a self-promoting, self-managed band. Jeff and I do a lot of the social media and things like that. I don't always tell these guys everything that I get. I usually tell Jeff, we've had a label come to us and actually ask us if we, starting to look at it, they wanted so much creative control. We basically were like, I was like, no.
You did what?
You do.
I'm teasing.
It just didn't seem worth it, because we have control of our own music.
Yeah.
Yes.
And things like that. We're all pretty good friends with a gentleman named Tyler Greasy. I'm not sure if you may know him.
Absolute powerhouse in the industry.
He
we love that guy. Same thing.
Yes.
With San Diego. He actually consults with us and helps us out sometimes on parts and pieces, and listens to our part and go, hey, maybe try doing this. He's played with us before. He's recorded solos on some of our release songs. Shane played with us last night, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's another good person.
Yeah.
Promoters, I really look for people that are well known, and again, you're gonna hear this is a theme for me. Don't be a douche, right? Don't be a douchebag. Just be a kind.
No, that counts me out.
That's what I'm looking for. You know your job and do the right thing.
Absolutely.
I know promoters, they want to promote stuff, they want to make their money. Same thing with the bands, right? And where it's a win-win. Venues.
Say that louder. Say that louder for the promoters that are listening.
Again, let's make it a win-win. Because when we make it a win-win, it means we can repeat that. We've been to bad places where it was not a win-win, and those are places we won't go to again. And if you want people to continue to do business with you, you got to do the right thing.
Get out of that billionaire mindset.
But
there you go.
Venues, kind of the same thing. Let's not go to a venue that says you got to pay X amount up front, and then we're going to take everything you make, including merchandise. That doesn't work. Again, let's make this a win-win. Let's draw more crowd for it. Let's all win together. And that's really
absolutely.
And of course, I also look for, we have several festivals coming up. We're playing, for example, we're doing stuff in Rocklahoma at the campgrounds. We're doing Camp Rocklaholics with Remy on Friday. So we're going to do a little acoustic thing there.
I think that was
Thursday. We're doing that Thursday. Friday, we're doing the bus. But we look for people that would like to have musicians, and it's not always about the money. I think if we were in it for the money, it's more about the love of the music and finding venues, and people realize that as well.
I tell you what, you're right there in Tulsa. Let me ask this real quick. There's a venue over on Sheridan where I booked my show for February 15th, Bowman Twin Event Center. I want to just say real quick, if you have not been in there yet, you're missing out. Like, Scotty and Cadrian runs it. Scotty owns it. They're amazing people to work with. They truly are.
All right, we might contact them in there. Yeah,
Dad, or I might have to do something for you guys. You know,
hey, that'd be great.
Maybe
too.
get a few other bands on. Like Don was in there earlier commenting. Get you guys on stage there in Tulsa with Brigade.
That'd be awesome. We actually played with them last night out in El Reno.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're great guys. Oh, great
Well,
guys now.
Well, it's a small world. Funny that I mentioned them.
Yeah. We'd love to share the stage with them here in Tulsa.
It's almost like I'm metagaming, though, huh?
That's all right.
I shall not give up my secret. I'm just smart like that.
Sorry. To touch on kind of what he said, we're all self-managed, so that's a whole other aspect, getting out there, finding shows. As far as promoters, the main quality would just be trustworthiness. Like, there's a lot of bad promoters you have to weed through to find the good ones, for sure. A lot of people are just out to make a quick buck and just go on their own way. But when you find like a good promoter or a good team, that's it makes all the difference.
It really does.
Yeah. So, anybody else? Yeah. As far as venues, we're talking about like in different venues. I mean, I think that's a personal preference. Every band kind of has their own. They like this venue, they like that venue, and we played at some venues. It's like, we're probably not playing here again. But there's some other places we played multiple times and love it. I mean, the Badass Renee's here in Tulsa, always has local bands. We had our EP release there, and all we did was ask. More than willing to make space for it. It's awesome. It's great to have places like that.
So, two things right there is funny that you mentioned. The first one was Badass Renee's, and then the second one was asking. When we were joking earlier about begging for whiskey, the venue that came to mind, I kid you not, bar, and then being that you begged, asking.
Yeah. There you go. It's a perfect fit.
So definitely. So I guess, like you said, there's a lot of personal choices or personal feelings in venues. Mm-hmm. So here's something for you guys. Just real quick, off the top of your head, go around, name your personal favorite venue that you played in.
John's backyard.
Yeah, John's backyard. It's always fun.
That was fun. It's not a real venue, but that's honestly my favorite place to play because it's all friends and family.
Yeah.
Fourth of July pool party there. It was fun.
Yeah. I like playing house parties. It's a lot of fun. For sure.
So I'm going to need your personal information after we're done so I can get a hold of you and book some shows.
Absolutely.
See if I can bring some good bangers to the backyard.
That'd be awesome. That would be great. Yeah. Yeah, but we've played quite a few different venues now. We played Roosters out in Fort Smith. That was a really cool place. And of course, we played bar out there at 31st and Sheridan.
Max's Garage was good.
Max's Garage. We're out in Muskogee. That was a fun place. Torchies out in Sepulpa Sepulpa. That was a pretty fun show. So I mean, it depends on the crowd too. We judge it by fun. How fun it is how much we like it. So if the crowd's having fun, we're having fun. It's a good venue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the venues, this next one, I'll ask Mike for the band, and then I want you guys to all go around and share your personal one. And you'll have time to think about it while Mike's answering for the band. So, if you could play any one show with any artist and at any venue, even if it is not attainable, with who and where would it be? So as a band and then as individuals.
If I had to pick, and this is going to surprise people because I think some of our music would kind of fit well with them,
Mm-hmm.
I would say Leonard Skinner. They all laugh because I personally am not a Skinner fan. I like their music, more of a childhood issues that I had. Which, the music kind of brings back some traumatic things, but I think we would fit well with them as far as our sound and things like that. So band wise, that's who I would pick.
And what venue?
The venue, I would do Coliseum.
Coliseum, go big or go home.
Right?
Yeah, or do the Coliseum.
Hey, there you go.
Individually, I would want to perform with the Dead Stop. Like I said, huge fan of them. I've seen them multiple times. I saw them their very first concert they did after COVID was actually out in Tahlequah. And we went and saw them. Actually, Jeff went with me. Just phenomenal. They do their stage presence, the way they get everyone involved with it. That's who I'd perform with, individually.
Okay.
Here, I'll go next. So I'm a fan of all. So if I had to pick a place, I would pick maybe like CBGB's in New York, and it would have been fun. There's also a small club in England that Pink Floyd, the Beatles, at almost on a weekly basis called the Cave, which I think would be awesome. Small little hole in the wall place. As far as like which band I'd want to play with, it's a hard. I don't know if I could pick one particular band, but if I could do like a lineup of bands, it would be every band that would be that like boost of energy as a kid listening to, AC/DC, Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton. That's what drew me to music originally, was that adrenaline, that energy you get. So I've loved energetic bands, so it would have to be one of those.
So it sounds like you'd have to have that lineup held at Lollapalooza.
That would be more. Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only thing feasible with that many bands.
Oh yeah. You couldn't do it at a small base at all. Yeah, it'd have to be something.
No. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Individually, I would play with ZZ Top at the Iridium Blues Club.
Ooh, there you go. There you go.
I got to see Les Paul play there, and he brings on special guests, and people jump up there, Billy Gibbons, things like that. Play with the Reverend Billy Gibbons, that would be a dream come true. And then as a band, kind of like I'm a big Leonard Skinner fan, so I would definitely do Leonard Skinner in Jacksonville, Florida.
There you go.
In their hometown. That would be a dream come true too. I think our music would line up very well.
Yeah.
If I could sit in with just stay in the background on a couple of songs with those guys and just play rhythm, I'd been died and gone to heaven.
I know you're going to pick the Eagles.
Red Rock,
Take it easy.
was a cool place to jam.
Red Rock, yeah.
I'd love to play there.
Yeah.
John?
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
Maybe playing one of the Van Halens. I don't know.
Ooh, there we go.
But, as far probably more than having a specific band picked out, small time venue would be I've always wanted to play.
Oh,
Haynes.
yeah.
Big time would be like Red Rocks. I thought when the video of when U2 played there, was it Sunday Bloody Sunday or whatever the video was playing there with the fog and everything?
It's incredible.
Is that the one? I don't know, but that seems like a really cool event to play.
You know, Kenny Loggins did a concert in the Redwoods years ago, which was a really, really cool venue, a place to perform at. And that would have been a really intimate yet cool place to do a concert. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Some interesting choices. I like them.
Yeah.
I think I'll throw mine in here
Bring it on.
if you guys don't mind. All right. I'd want to play with Benny Goodman in his arrangement. His
Missed it.
Oh,
the what?
oh, okay. Sorry, it cut off. Skipped for a second.
Oh, okay. Benny Goodman and his band
Oh, cool.
Nice. Yeah.
in New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
Oh, that's a good
that's a
one.
good-
That is a good one. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Good call.
Yeah, yeah, because I grew up playing drums and jazz drums in high school. For the first 3 years, we had one band teacher, and her husband was actually a band teacher here at NOC, the local college, Northern Oklahoma College. But then when she left the school, we had somebody else come in my senior year, sit there, listen to all of us play, seeing, what we're capable of doing. He looked straight at me one day, we all came in for class. He looked straight at me. He's like, I got a song for you. Push play on the CD player, and it's Benny Goodman with Gene Krupa, Sing, Sing, Sing.
Nice.
Cool.
I have fun.
All right.
Nice. Nice.
Definitely. And so I haven't seen any of your questions. I do see where Stephanie said Fallout Boy.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be a fun one. The what? And freezing up again.
there we go.
Nope.
We lost you for a
There we
second.
go. Yeah, I noticed. I'm still here. Yeah, Stephanie said Fallout Boy. That'd be a fun one.
There you go. Yeah.
I think if I was able to book them in Tulsa, I'd sell out whatever venue I could get into.
Yeah, I got to see them at the BK. I was probably 50 feet from the lead singer at one point. He did an acoustic. It was incredible.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So yeah, I'm looking through. I see Remy said Camp Rockaholics, and yada yada. Fun thing. I haven't said this one out loud yet, but I was invited a while back ago to take my sound equipment out there and be the sound tech for Remy and Rockaholics.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll be working together after all.
We will be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I don't see much for viewer questions. You guys are slacking, people. So if there's anything that you guys would wish to add, and specifically, like if, you could talk to, we'll go around this with the group on this one instead of as a band. So like basically your closing thoughts, regardless of who it is in the music industry, whether it's, the recording studios, your promoters, your venues, or whoever, if you could pick one subclass in the industry, who would it be, and what would you have to say to them, whether it's uplifting or it's like, hey, this needs to be addressed, let's fix it. Because let's face it, if there's issues out there and we all remain silent on it, it's not ever going to get fixed. So whether it's uplifting or something that you need to be vocal about. And then I want you to say something to the fans, like, do better, or, you're doing just fine. Maybe back off a little bit. What would you have to say to the fans as well?
I got one.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and it's probably obvious, although it's obviously not obvious because it's not being followed. Bands and entertainers, keep your political opinions and your self-business to yourself, and don't assume that people will enjoy your music and love your music, that they care how you feel about certain things politically or otherwise. Your job is the job that you can entertain your fans, and that's how you're going to keep your fans, by not straying from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well said.
Yeah, it definitely really alienates fans. I've been to concerts before where the singer will start going on a tirade about one political thing or another, and you can just see half the audience immediately
Any
get turned
band
off.
that's gained fans from doing that.
There you
It
go.
can only hurt from doing it.
Only hurt. Yeah.
I saw an
Yeah.
interview. I saw an interview with Johnny Carson after he retired, and the commentator, asked him why he never mentioned his politics. Brought that up. He said because people turn on TV to be entertained. He said they go to work all day long, they pay their taxes, they sweat and toil, and they turn the TV on and they want to be entertained. It's not my job to ingest into them who I think they should vote for, think about, or what. He said my job is to entertain them. And John hit it perfectly. I think artists are out there pushing a certain political brand or issue or something, or just alienating people. People don't go and they want to buy that music. They want to be entertained. So leave that stuff at the door. People buy tickets to be entertained.
It doesn't make you an authority on the subject just because you're a popular band. Perfect.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
I have something I'd like to say, and that's let's pay the bands. I get tired of hearing that doing for exposure for you. That's great, but these guys work really hard on this music.
Mm-hmm.
We're going through a gig. It's not just the 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours that we're there. It's all the time before that. Practicing, it's load in, it's load out.
Yeah.
We do a lot, and these guys work their butts off. And I like to see them get paid. And I get
Absolutely
frustrated hearing people say, "Do it for exposure. It's great exposure for you." These guys don't need exposure. They need to be appreciated a little bit too. They work really hard of entertaining the people. We do it for free quite often, but don't appreciate. I don't like when you say, "Hey, it's good exposure for you. You just come play here at our venue."
Well, at least just
right.
my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love to play, but how about all the
I would
movement?
really like to see that whole play for exposure thing to just kind of not reset again. I don't ever want to hear that.
Yeah.
It's an exposure.
Yeah. And I understand sometimes, bands want to get out there and get known and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they should be paid for their time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
Now, tell you what, before we continue, I want to touch base on that. The importance of actually supporting the concerts.
Yes.
When I did mine, I had just enough ticket sales, and I'll say this every time I talk about it. It was a phenomenal night. Thank you to everybody. But it's like I had just enough ticket sales to cover those bills, pay the main headliner, and give a little bit of money to my ride to get me all the way back home. and that was it. If it would have been a packed house, no, I guarantee you every band would have gotten paid, comfortably.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's some bands like, there's one, that I've been talking with. I worked with them last year. They played the show on the back in February, and they're like, told me from the get go, we don't care about any money.
Yep.
We want to get out there. We want to get, we want to get our music heard.
Yeah.
We want to be heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing at
Remy's
comments.
comment.
the what?
We're laughing at Remy's last comment there.
Yeah. Yeah. Put that stuff on YouTube while you're at it. That way we can see,
really?
like where the song came from. Use that as your music video.
Yeah, there you go. To add to what he's saying, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because you got these newer bands who are trying to get out there that can't make any money, that are hitting the road, grinding every day, and just struggling to make anything playing music. And then on the other side, you've got these pop artists who charge hundreds of dollars for tickets, when they're doing the same thing that the local musicians are doing. And it's aggravating for a smaller band to see these pop artists that a lot of times don't write their own songs, may not even sing on their own album, making millions of dollars, while these small bands are struggling, who actually write their music, are struggling just to make a buck.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's ticket pricing it's a tricky situation.
Yes. Yes.
Because at some point, people will say, "Well, we just can't even afford
Oh yeah.
to do this. It's just it doesn't,
I can't tell you how many.
losing money."
Can't tell you how many concerts I've wanted to the ticket price and went, no, that's okay.
That's true too.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel what happened with mine, because when I priced the tickets back in November, I was thinking ahead of, let's get those bills paid, make sure the venue's paid and yada, yada. And then let's make sure the bands get paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big, important factor, making sure those bands get paid and, make it worth their while. Because, like I had Paralytic that was coming from Oklahoma City to Tulsa. And then I had Bad Frogs Rising from further down south. They had a bit of a drive. And then you had Grave Puffer coming from Joplin. It's just like, there's a lot of gas mileage and toll roads just to get there. Don't let them do it for free. So I priced those tickets $25.
Yeah.
Hoping to really sell out and get everybody paid at least what they're worth.
Yeah.
That was a huge mistake. Learning experience. When you got a bunch of bands that a lot of people don't know, which is one reason I'm trying to do things like this. How many people know Beggars Whisky or, whoever? Let's get people heard. Get your voices heard, get your names out there. But, when you have the bands that people don't know, especially like Paralytic had never played Tulsa before. Bad Frogs Rising being way down south. Audio Ascension, who's, they don't have albums out. They're not, they don't have a lot of, the social presence and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Why are we paying $25 to go watch all these bands? I had no idea who they are.
Yeah. That's why networking is so important. We love doing shows with other bands because of that. We can share fans, and it's kind of a team effort on a local level.
Yes. And see, quick plug. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be like the network hub.
That's great. Yeah, we need more of that.
Because you guys have already said that you watched the Brandon Young interview. You watched.
I I watched the Adam
Marshall
Richards-
Rock, I think. Yeah. So Surviving Oklahoma.
Yeah,
That was at least those two.
yeah.
You know, for the ones that like, I'd never heard of Adam Richmond. Who is this guy?
yeah.
Surviving. Oh, this sounds like a really cool. Let me subscribe.
Yeah.
Beggars Whiskey. Who are they? Oh, okay. Well, let me listen to their music.
Yeah.
That's awesome music. I'm a new fan. I want to catch the next show. Hey, Ozzy, book these guys. I want to watch them. How much ticket? 25?
Uh-oh.
No, are we cutting out again?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
I think we're back. It was just for a second.
Okay. But hell yeah, I'd hope fans would be willing to pay $25 ticket for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, it's and the more bands you get too. Like, I'll pay $25 to see 3, 4, 5 bands I've never seen for sure, just to check them out. Like,
Yeah.
Done it. So
yeah, we've done it a lot of times. I mean, that's how you network, how you find new bands.
I'd like to thank
Exactly.
the fans that are supporting local music
Oh yeah,
everywhere, not only Tulsa. There are some fans you see all the time. They're
Oh,
out there every time. I want to say thank you, fans, and please bring more people with you. We have to get more fans supporting local new music out there. Thank you.
true.
Here, here.
But that also does mean that the fans need to stick around besides just going in for their one band.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here to see Beggars Whiskey. I'm going to go and see them. Then I'm going to leave.
Yeah. that's
Why?
bad.
If you support local music, why aren't you there for the other ones? I understand. Hey, I'm just support my friends real quick, but then I got to go to work, or I got to go pick the kid up from soccer practice or whatever. I understand things like that. That goes for the bands too that have to dip out. Like when it was snowing the day of my show, and with Bad Frogs living way down south, they needed to dip out early. I understand things like that, but stay there for the other bands.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
a true fan.
Yeah, I think you really did hit the nail on the head there. I mean, there's been many concerts that both Jeff and I have been to where we may go there to see Shelter in Place, but watch Shelter in Place, and we actually get turned on to some really good bands by not just watching Shelter in Place.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important. That's exactly what I would want for our band. Don't just come to see us. Come to see everyone. I think that's how you support local music, and you'll find some really, really good bands and some really talented bands around. I've seen so many. But the only way you can find them is by sticking around.
Yeah.
That's got to be why we always put the headliners first, or not first, last.
Yep.
You're there to see the headliner. If you want good seating or good parking, you're gonna have to be there early, so you get to watch the openers.
Yeah.
That's how you get to hear
I
those.
love going and watching the openers. Like I try to get there as early as possible.
I want to thank you for doing this. Like I said, I've watched. I haven't watched everyone yet. I watched it, and I think it's a really good service that you're doing, getting the word out there, making sure that people know local doesn't mean Tulsa. It doesn't mean Oklahoma City. It means where you're at.
Yeah.
But I also want to
Thank
thank
you.
people like Jamie from Marshall Rock Radio.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jay.
She's such a big supporter of local music. And again, she's like you. She doesn't say local means Tulsa.
Yeah.
And of course, Rock Event. I think they do a really, really outstanding job. Great cause.
Yes.
All these guys, these are around Tulsa. But I think that's what makes Tulsa such a good city. And I think
100%.
Tulsa is a music city. I've lived in non-music cities, and Tulsa reminds me a lot of Austin. There's just a lot of music, a lot of original music, a lot of cover music. It's a great town when it comes to music.
And all the towns, the years. I mean, this, J.J. Cale, David Gates Bread, Leon.
Oh,
Russell,
yeah.
Yep.
the list on and on of people that have just I don't know what it is about Oklahoma that produces so much quality talent, and it's all over this town.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
But I think
absolutely.
it's the community that you guys are building. Like I said, Rockavett, St. Anger's, Marshall Rock Radio. It's this local unsigned talent. I think you guys do such a great job, and a lot of the
Thank
stuff
you.
is possible without you guys. So
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, so special shout out for Jason Polk, Christian Hopkins, and all the others. Heath, Heath just did a benefit show last night in Tulsa.
Yeah.
All the bigwigs of Rockavett. Thank you guys for your support.
Okay.
Yep, gremlins again.
Yep, it's the Gremlins.
Quit watering them.
Yeah.
So after I talked about the viewer questions and skipped over it, we had some question. Where do you get the inspiration for your songs? From Karen Fuller.
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, it varies. It can be, I have recording songs. It's about Mount Vesuvius. It's about the volcano destroying Pompeii. I have another song that was a lot of my songs you'll hear. I get parts and pieces from movies. I have one that the first one we recorded in a row was actually about the movie Crossroads. Parts and pieces that go on. But then I have other songs that I've written recently. There's a song that's about how military members have to deal with people that don't necessarily agree with the military when they come home. So they say, is it better off that I just dive there or come home to a nation that doesn't agree with me? Yeah, doesn't.
Yeah.
I've got a song I wrote about the fentanyl crisis and kids dying because what's going on with fentanyl. A lot of it's current things, and some of it's I'm watching a movie. You have songs here. Jeff may go in and write lines or a full song. I can take just a line. Remy probably missed it, but maybe blanked out, but I see where that name come from. Again, we have a gap Irish in here.
Yeah.
And one of the things we like to do is now and
There you go.
every practice. Much.
Yeah.
And the question was always, what do you do? Here's what we have right now. It was whatever we had. Yours can't be choosers.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, the inspiration for the song from a lot of different places. One set thing. I have a lot of it. I write. A lot of times it's 3, 4 in the morning, and I just in the dark or sit and listen to the air conditioning, white noise type thing. Ideas and thoughts to me, and I just write. One thing I always tell these guys, we have a shared app that we use stuff is write. That's the only way you write anything is to start writing, and even if you don't think it's good, keep it, because you never know when you use a part or a piece. You may realize that was actually I wrote. I just didn't think it was at the time. But inspiration comes from a little. Again, things that are going on, songs about rest and carrying walls of government, things like that. Because what's going on if the government's not going to people? Why do we need it? So it comes from different places. It's just a lot of it's about what I'm doing at that moment.
Life experience.
Yeah. That's for me, anyway. I don't know about the other guys.
I think just the experience of being two is where most of our, going through day-to-day life, trying to make the best of it. That's everyday experience.
When I was younger, it was like lost love and kind of looking for your way through the world. And I used to, come to me at like entire songs when I was young. It was that fuse was open there for a long time. And then over the years, it's kind of, I don't know, like Mike's right. It's an art. You have to sit down and write. And late since I've met Mike, I'm doing a lot more of that now. 2 or 3 good verses, and I'm trying to put those walls down and somewhere else. But writing it down and saving them, share them. But these guys want to, so it's that whole creative thing. Mike's been saying a ton of stuff, and it's really inspirational. Be around that, and it creating my so
yeah.
John.
Very well said.
Hi, this is John. You go. When I write lyrics, it's in the middle of the night. I used to not write them down. My wife, that's good. Write it down. I'll do it in the morning. Put it in the notes in my phone. I'll write down the lyrics.
Yeah.
And like even driving home, I've got some lyrics in my pocket right now that are just ideas that I'll bring up later. But if a tune goes along with it,
Never know when inspiration is going to strike.
Life experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been a lot of missed fabulous songs, that's just been completely missed
That is so
because you didn't have access to the pen and paper at that exact moment.
Yes.
If I could name all the songs written in person, it'd be far more than the ones. 2, yeah, 2.5.
You can't remember it.
Yeah.
Fun times. Let me see. Oh, Remy said echoes back. But
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
What?
And
What? Sunday.
so it looks like we're caught up on questions, and looks like we're caught up on the questions. Is there anything else you guys would really wish to add that, whatever topic it is, again, though, as long as it's not one of those hot topics.
Yeah.
Pick a topic. If there's anything you guys want to close on, the floor is yours. Let your voices be heard.
I just want to say again, thank you for supporting local music, but also thank you to all of our fans, whether you're over in Brazil. Like I said, we have a large following in Brazil, which is interesting. But just want to say thank you to the fans. We couldn't do it without them. I mean, we could go to play. That's rehearsal, right? It's the fans are do it. So thank you to all of our fans.
And what Mike said, same. Thank you very much for this platform that you're providing. And yeah, this is just and for the people that enjoy our music. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
we're having a good time, and those who appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And I'd like to add, Also, thank you, of course.
You're welcome.
Anyone out there that's like start a band or trying to start a band or their own in the free time, I think we talked about it earlier. Don't give up. Just keep doing it. It's not always going to. It's not always gonna be great, but if you keep doing it, eventually it will.
Don't listen to the
Absolutely.
The haters. There's always going to be haters, no matter what you do.
Yes. You can't please everybody.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Stop trying.
Right for you. Yeah.
Yeah, too. I don't know if it's a mirror writing or not. No, it's good. Not today, Karen. Needs to be your daily slogan.
haters. Not today, Karen.
Not today. I like it. Yeah. That'll be on our next t-shirts. Yeah. Yeah.
So, where can they find your music? Like, I want to listen to you guys. Where do I find your music? And if I wanted to buy merch, where could I buy merch at? If you guys have merch.
We do have merch. I'll be honest, we're really bad at doing our merch stuff. We do it at our shows, and that's you can always reach out. We've had guys who have reached out to us over social media. We have a guy that asked for some merch for his man cave, and send him a shirt. And like, hey, here you go. But yeah, we do have merch. We have shirts,
Shot glass.
shot glasses, and wristbands. We sell those where we play. Our songs, the ones we have, we only really have about 5 songs released. And you can get those on any streaming platform. They're out there on every major streaming platform, minor streaming platform, it seems like. If you want to hear our list of songs, you got to come see it. There's a lot of songs that we have that we don't have. A lot of really, really good songs. You don't have the time. You gotta have the money to record it.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming along, though.
We were supposed to record one not too long ago. People sick, people were out. That's part of the issue too. But yeah, go out, check our stuff out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere there is music. That's where you can just make sure you spell it right. Beggars Whisky, WHISKY. That's the original spelling of whiskey. So if you ever look at it, it's how they still spell Scotch.
Wait, did I misspell it?
Nope,
No, you spelled it perfect.
Okay.
A lot of people do.
A lot of people they're like, oh, whiskey. Why?
Yeah.
But we can change it, but we're not going to because
Don't.
it's part of our profile. If you look at our persona, that's part of the persona. So, but yeah, check us out. And hope you enjoy the music. But more importantly, see us.
Yeah.
See us so you can really see all the different music.
Yeah, if you're going to be at Rocklahoma,
Big bus.
we'll be at the Big Bus Friday night. We'll be at Rockaholics. Rockaholics Thursday night, which is blast, real cool, back, chill, vibe. We're doing a little meet and greet the next day. So you can come out, talk to us. We've got a handful of other shows. We're playing out in Owasso at the Redbud Roundup, Redbud Ramble in September, which will be fun. We're possibly playing at something called Twister Class. So I mean, we're out there and available. You just have to look for us.
Go watch them live. Go follow their Facebook, and then go to their shows. Go support them. Go have fun. Speaking of the Camp Rockaholics, I was actually supposed to interview him Saturday, but he wasn't. He had stuff come up, which, guys, I do understand. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Life happens. But I will be interviewing Remy coming up.
Cool.
And I'm going to say this right now. You guys are going to have the opportunity of a lifetime at the Big O Bus. You guys familiar with Rocklahoma?
Yeah.
So you guys know the crowds together.
Oh yeah. And
so for people that's watching, who's not familiar, Number one, Rocklahoma is a music festival held out in the pastures outside Pryor, Oklahoma. It's, if you look at it on Google Maps, it is just right about, what was it? I think half a mile section.
Oh, it's huge.
Guys,
Yeah.
it's huge. Yes. I mean, the main stage is basically an airport hangar type building. You probably fit in a 737, maybe.
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, at least a fuselage. So there's a lot of camping. There's a lot of campgrounds, and right on the main road, not too far from the main GA gate, and by the GA parking, and just by the general merchandise store, by the showers, all that. Right on the main road is this group of people, and they call it the Big O Bus. And what it is, it's a bus that had, when she bought it, it already had that back end cut out as like a party deck. And what do you do with a party deck on the back of an old bus? You put a stripper pole on it, put some speakers up, and you dance. Like a couple years ago, Rocklahoma's Hot Dog was up there dancing to Who Let the Dogs Out. And so these guys are going to take stage at that bus.
Yeah.
With tens of thousands of people in that area.
That's
Granted,
awesome.
not all at one campsite, but it's going to be, Rocklahoma's tens of thousands of people. And a lot of that is right there, GA. So you guys have prime placement to be heard.
Oh, we will be
So
heard.
if you're going to Rocklahoma, oh yeah. You'll be heard Thursday as well.
Yeah.
I've got some speakers and some amplifiers.
Cool.
You're going to be heard. In fact, you might be slightly louder than at the bus.
That's all right.
I can't guarantee that.
We sound good loud.
Everybody sounds good loud. But it's all about those dynamics
There you go.
and knowing how to work that board.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's definitely been a great pleasure. This is kind of perfect timing. I unplugged my phone, got started with this, and it's down to 12%. So real quick, coming up tomorrow, I have Bad Frogs. Wait, no, we had to cancel Bad Frog, or not cancel, postpone, because something else that came up that weekend, or this weekend. So we're going to have to reschedule that. April 5th, we have Amanda Smith from Aquafire. And then April 6th, I have Raven Revival. He's a good friend of mine. He's been in the band Paralytic. He actually has his own band called Bloodlust Revival. And then our good friends, Brigade, Saturday, April 12th. I'll make sure to post those on the Facebook page. So as for this interview, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to download the video, and then I'm going to re-upload it back to my Facebook page and then my YouTube.
Oh, cool.
It's been a great pleasure, guys. Again, I'm Ozzy, and this has been St. Anger Productions Presents Beggars, Whisky. Go give them a like and follow and share and attend, just the whole 9 yards. Support our local music.
Thank you very much.
Again, guys, it's been a great pleasure, and thank you guys for the kind words that you've also spoke. I look forward to working with you guys. You've been amazing people.
You too, Rocky. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
For anyone listening, we'll see you at the show.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
So everybody have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.